baby. It's me, Shauna Jade, and I am here with EarRelevant, okay? Drop some fire emojis in the chat, make some noise at home. Shout out to Breakfast with the Jetsons in the back, like always. Appreciate y'all, all right? Where are you from?
I was born in Jetsons Hospital, right up the street.
Okay.
I'm from the Midlothian area, born and raised. Went to Midlothian High, just from around this area pretty much.
That's what's up. And what is the meaning behind your name? Because it's EarRelevant, spelled E-A-R, relevant. And that's his Instagram too, so y'all definitely need to go follow him on Instagram. So where did you get, the inspiration for that name?
So that inspiration came from a very specific place. Back when I was first starting out, I was going by a different name, which was Ajax, but then I found out that name was already highly used by multiple people across the internet. I wanted something that was different but still catchy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually listening to one of my favorite rappers, who's now unfortunately no longer with us, R.I.P. Idea. But his name is spelled Idea, U-I-E-D-E-A. And I was listening to him, I was trying to think of a name, and I was like, what about EarRelevant? It just kind of came to me, like all many of my lyrics do.
Yeah.
And I called my buddy that was helping me out in this creative process, who's been instrumental in, he was on that song with me, Moses.
Shout out to Moses, he bars are crazy.
Yeah, still Moses on Instagram. I called him up and I was like, what do you think about this name? And he was like, I like that a lot, you should stick with that. So, I stuck with it and here we are. We're 4 years into EarRelevant, 7 years into making music, so.
That's what's up. And you actually just answered like 2 of my next questions. So you said 4 years as EarRelevant, 7 years total of you actually doing music.
Yeah.
So what was your first written piece or song that you might have written?
The first song that I wrote was an homage to a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine in college at Hampton-Sydney College. It's a little private school out in Farmville. I'm not going to get into the whole backstory, it's like super deep and crazy, but basically me and him got caught smoking weed together by the RA. The cops were called. The next day, he gets found hanging in his closet by his belt. He hung himself, and he was probably afraid he was going to get kicked out of school or some shit. And he just didn't want to. I can't explain his reasoning, but I found out about it after I had already gone home for the weekend. It was Thanksgiving break, which made it even sadder on a different level. But my first song that I wrote was like, I was just dealing with all this pent up emotion and sadness, and I didn't really know how to let that out, so I just started writing about it. And eventually those words turned into rhymes, and those rhymes turned into a verse, and I had a friend at the time who was doing music in the RVA area, and I was home on Christmas break, and he asked me if I wanted to come to the studio with him one day just to kind of check it out. And it was like in this his friend's apartment, like little home studio. And while he was recording, I asked if I could lay down my verse that I had written about my friend over this G-Eazy beat that I had found on YouTube. And they heard it and they were like, that's gonna be your first song. They were like, that's way too good to just throw away. So I still have it on my SoundCloud. But,
what's the name of it?
In Memoriam.
So, Alchemist, which is one of your other songs that I really like. Tell me how that was with like the writing process, because both of y'all, Moses, right?
Moses, yeah.
Shout out to you and Moses. Y'all said a lot in that song. and I had to listen to it multiple times. So break down for me, you know, what the topic you wrote about and why you wrote about it.
It's kind of a multifaceted song.
Mm-hmm.
There's multiple things being talked about all at once. My verse kind of goes into a little bit of like dealing with mental health in the beginnings of the verse because I deal with bipolar disorder. I'm on medication for it, but it's still a constant thing in my daily life that I have to be wary of. And then, so I was talking about that a bit in the beginning, and then I just started ripping apart mumble rap, and that, looking back, I kind of regret that decision because it's kind of become my guilty pleasure to listen to what some might consider mumble rap, and I don't hate on it as much. I don't hate on it ever anymore, but like I don't really hate other artists for just like evolving the genre and bringing new sounds into the genre of hip hop, because if you think that the genre can't change just like every other genre of music has changed over time, then you're kind of just an elitist prick, and you know, you will be replaced. I went into that a little bit too hard, I think, and then Alex just came in with this really fast, aggressive flow that I could never like. I can't perform the song solo because I can't mimic his rhythm at all. He's way too fast for me. But yeah, he just goes into a multitude of different topics, talking about like just being living in active addiction and being like a pleasure seeker, and talking about like all these different aspects of kind of living a rock star lifestyle, but still being empty at the end of the day. And I don't know, it was a very interesting song to write. It was the first. It was one of the first. It was the third song we had written together, but the first song we had written together where I felt like it could really, you know, start a wave.
Yeah. Because you guys sounded like you really fed off of each other.
Yeah, we did. We definitely did feed off each other's energy heavily. Yeah, it's one of my favorite old cuts, but if I had the chance to go back and redo my second part of my first verse, I would, in a heartbeat, not harp on mumble rap as much, because it's really not like a threat to anybody at all. It's just like people doing their own thing. So yeah. So I saw on your page it says hip hop lyricist. And do you consider yourself a poet? Did you ever just like write poetry at a time, or? I did used to write poetry sometimes, without like the ever desire to put it to a beat. I don't do that much anymore, mainly because like when I get the creative urge to write, it's like, oh, I've got to make a song right now, because I know I'll lose that, and then I don't know how long it'll be before I'll get it back, and I want to crank out as much material as I can in that time when I have the spark, basically. So yeah, I don't write much poetry anymore, but I do consider some of my songs to be poetry in the sense that they're like, it's just straight from the soul. You know? There's not a lot of fluff to some of my stuff. Other stuff is more like, to quote one of my a guy who I feel like has been kind of my mentor a little bit in this game. Shout out if Sir Mike had Insta on Instagram. That's Sir Mike. He's a up and comer from LA. He was from Miami, but now he's coming out of Los Angeles. And I've kind of been a protege of his for a minute. And me and him have made a song together. It's Rapture on the 2 and a Path album. Definitely give that a listen if you can. It's one of my hardest flows I've ever hit.
Ooh.
But forgot where I was going with that. Yeah, I completely lost my train of thought.
I think you asked me about wow, I just wrote down something. Okay, he is a mentor to you, and
Yeah, but I forgot where I was going with that.
I really just lost my train of thought, y'all.
That's fine.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Well, shout out to you, sir.
Yeah, shout out to you.
Shout out to you, you know what
You've
I'm saying?
definitely been an influence. Okay, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
And okay, so I know you.
Oh, yeah, I remember what you said.
Hey, here we go.
Period.
Back up.
He told me one time at a festival that we were doing together, he was like, you gotta give people a little bit of medicine, a little bit of candy with their medicine to make the medicine go down smooth. You know, you can't just give people straight medicine all the time and expect them to not throw it back in your face.
Yeah.
And if you give people nothing but candy all the time, they're just gonna get hooked on that candy sound and they're not gonna appreciate it when you give them a little bit of medicine. So he's like you gotta throw in a little bit of candy with the medicine to make it go down smoother. And so that's what I've tried to do as I've been writing a little bit more is throw in like some funny or like some kind of just like out of left field ass like bars to like maybe people be like, what did you just say? But also like, damn, that was really
Makes you
clever.
think, yes.
Yeah, so yeah, shout out Sir Mike. You've really been inspirational and I love your music.
Period. And follow us and definitely come on the show and you gotta talk to us next because you start lit. So y'all need to go listen to Alchemist, Rapture, okay? Every single song on Two-Headed Path, every single song on Emotions and every single song on Curses and Nurses, and that's your homework for next week, okay? Because I don't think y'all understand when I say this man is a lyricist, like you actually have to sit down and listen over and over and over to catch what he said, the medicine and the candy. Because he'll say, Dad, Alchemist, you did a reference of SpongeBob with the Doodle Bob.
All talking that poignant way.
Yeah. These Doodle Bob rappers. What?
All talking that poignant way.
Period. And that's why I had to listen to that joint at least 3 times. Cause I'm like, is that what I think he said? And then I was like, and I laughed, but then I listened to it again and I was like, wait. He actually just like did a whole bar
About SpongeBob.
based on SpongeBob. So going right back into what he was saying before. The lyrics are crazy, the pen game is crazy. Okay, definitely follow him on what platforms you on?
I'm on Facebook as Matthew Staley, and then in parentheses it's EarRelevant. I also have a Facebook page now for EarRelevant. I just made that the other day. You can go follow that. It's EarRelevant. And then I'm on Twitter as EarRelevantRBA. And I just made Twitter, so don't expect much on there.
And Insta.
And Insta is EarRelevantRBA. Yeah.
And y'all look out for his music. Did I see you had a song like coming out soon or a video?
Yeah, I'm dropping the video for All In
Period.
in like 2 weeks.
Period. So look out for that. Follow him on all his
The
platforms.
song was playing at the start of the show.
And that drum was hard. Yeah, let's get it. I'm ready for it. And like y'all know, we do the interviews, we do the music visuals. So if you need another one, you know, we right here. You can hit us up. And we do the music reviews. So whatever you do out there, we got you. Just hit us up. Poetry, Politics, Breakfast with the Jetsons. Follow my boy EarRelevant. Go listen to that music, okay? Shout out to you. Thank you for coming on the show. You're amazing. Because you my sad brother now, okay? So, boom. Thank you, everybody, for coming on the show. Be sure to tune in. We dropped the YouTube video and the Spotify audio. And that's on, what? Well, per.